You are listening to the Bell Ringers podcast on Philly Sports Reports, brought to you by SeatGeek. Here are your hosts, Colin Daly and Benjamin Goldstein.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bell Ringers podcast. I'm Colin Daly here with Benjamin Goldstein, and we are a little disappointed, to say the least, with how the Phillies have played, specifically in the last about 3 days here. They were on a little bit of a roll, we saw. They were winning some series pretty consistently, and then for some reason, they took a trip down to Washington, D.C., a place where they've had ample success in the last 5 years, and they have not been able to get the offense going against a losing ball club in the Washington Nationals. We saw just yesterday, Phillies got shut out 2-0 against the Nationals in game three of a four-game set in DC. They let Cade Cavalli, who has made his debut in 2022, got his first major league win today against the 70-win Phillies, who are first in the National League East. First major league win was today. He throws 7 shutout innings. He did allow 7 hits, but he struck out 5 and didn't walk any guys. Meanwhile, Taijuan Walker, despite a very strong start, going 6 and 2/3 innings and allowing 2 runs, those 2 runs are what cost the Phillies the game. And unfortunately, we have seen too much of that recently. And Ben, you'll agree, I think, that the pitching has not been as good as we've seen. We've seen some scuffles from Zack Wheeler, who we're going to talk about a lot more in a couple minutes here, and we've seen some scuffles from Ranger Suarez. But that does not excuse the offense's significant struggles that we've seen recently. And you know what? I know this isn't the order we talked about, but we may as well talk about it now. Nick Castellanos is by far, the leader of the pack in the offense struggles. Is that right, Ben?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you look at his last 7. He's hitting 0-34. He's 1 for his last 29. He's 8 for his last 57. He's 22 for his last 118. Like, this has been going on for a while. His last 3 games, he's gone 0 for 4. He did not play Saturday night. It's just I've been big on the anti-Castellanos trade. Nothing against the guy, just not. I just don't think he's a good baseball player, and it's really come to life now. His average has dropped all the way down to 252. His on base is below 300. And well, the one thing that was keeping him afloat was that he was statistically an above average hitter. Now he's quite average, below average hitter. OPS is down to 695, and it's just the striking out a ton and just hitting the ball on the ground, like not having competitive at bats. It's Nick Castellanos, and it's really showing to an immense amount over the last month or so. I mean, and the biggest thing is, like, you look at, like just said, how bad his at bats are. He has 3 walks over his last 30 games. 3 walks. That's just not competitive. And if you're not taking pitches and just trying to have a competitive at bat, you're not gonna find success. And that's where it all stems for Castellanos. It's just that plate discipline.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, with the play discipline, we've seen it for a while now. He always struggles with the breaking balls low and away. He waves at them like no player I've seen before. But it's just, it seems that he has these periods of time where that just gets exacerbated. I mean, look at it right now. We were talking about his stats earlier. In his last 15 games, he struck out 17 times. He just cannot avoid those pitches that are low and away, and I really don't get it because he will go on some streaks where he's a really, really good hitter, and he's able to take those pitches, and then all it takes is 1 or 2 bad at bats, and then he falls into this trap that he can get himself out of. It really is a perplexing thing to watch as a Phillies fan, and at this point, I don't know what the hitting coach is able to do, Kevin Long, for that kind of a situation, right? He can't go up there and tell Nick Castellanos when to swing the bat and when to not swing the bat. He can't, have like a bungee cord and whenever there's a ball coming low and away, you can't like put some tension on the bungee cord so his bat won't go anywhere. Unfortunately, that's not how the game works. He can teach him how to read the pitches and predict what pitch is coming based on the pitcher and the at bat, which we've seen Castellanos have success, so he clearly is capable of doing. But he, for some reason, can only do it for a third of the season. It's very bizarre because really, there's guys who do struggle with play discipline, but I've never seen it like I've seen it with Castellanos. It's very bizarre.
How long have I been on this anti-Castellanos train?
I'd say since so they signed him in 20.
2, 22.
22. Yeah, you're right. In 22. I'd say it was since probably June of 22 was when he started really hitting it hard, when he continued to hit well below average. And at the time, Joe Girardi would not take him out of the lineup.
Yeah,
Ooh, I
and I
cannot
mean,
believe I just said that name on a podcast in
yeah,
2025.
yeah, I mean, and still, like, it's been he was taken out of the lineup for the third time on Saturday for the last, I don't know, I guess 4 years, or no, like 3-4 years. Like, it has been very few amount of times he's not in the lineup, and it's just like, and one of the big arguments for people for Castellanos is like how good of a teammate he is. Well, he
Really?
cries and moans when he's being taken out of the game and badmouths the manager. That doesn't sound like a good teammate to me. So
No, I've never really interpreted that
yeah, that's people
at
say that.
all.
Yeah, people definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I've talked about this on here before, and this is a very specific memory. I don't even remember when it was, but this is might have been 2022. If not, it was definitely 2023. But I can remember there was a game where, a lot of times he would get not pinch hit for him, sorry, he would get taken out of for a defensive substitution in the eighth or ninth inning. Um, And when the Phillies would win, all the guys would run out on the field and they'd, go through the handshakes to the pitcher's mound. And he would like walk out there in his gray sweatshirt with his hood up, and he would be the last one on the field. Like he doesn't seem like he's enthusiastic about playing. And I realize that there are guys out there who have the mindset of like winning is an expectation, but that's not how everyone is. And I think the people who act like that in front of the large group, it's more of a selfish thing, the way I see it, than a self-motivator. You can self-motivate that way in private, but when you're with the whole team, that's not only a celebration just for the winning, but it's kind of like a bonding moment for your team. Like you all put in work to get to a certain point, and when you achieve something, it's okay to celebrate, even if what you achieve is something that you're expected to achieve.
Yeah, and he's not a winning baseball player. When you look at these numbers, and I mean, he has a negative WAR,
Yeah.
so that's certainly can't don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's negative 1.2.
Ooh, that's not.
That's
That's really bad.
that is what I call a negative baseball player, and I can't feel confident about a team with Nick Castellanos in their starting lineup. It's just I just can't. Like you can have Kyle Schwarber and Trea Turner and Harper in your lineup, but when you have Castellanos consistently hitting fourth or fifth in your lineup, it's just a hole when you have guys like Harper on base for him or Schwarber and 2 outs there, and you just like a guaranteed out or a guy who is not going to put up a competitive at bat. It doesn't give you a good feeling. I mean, there's still time to fix it. There's still time to turn it around. It's mid-August, pretty much. About a month and a half left to go in the season.
Yeah.
So, there's still time there. But, I mean, I'm looking at his last 15 games, and I'm just like, And on base percentage of
It's just
155
heartening.
and 115. Yeah, it hurts. But I mean, I've been on this for a while, so I'm not happy that he's not succeeding. I'm just yeah, it's when you watch him and analyze the type of player Castellanos is, this is the type of player Nick Castellanos is.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we know what you're getting with him. He hasn't really had a breakout great year in Philadelphia yet. I mean, he had some really good years on other teams. When you saw in 2021, he hit 309. We haven't seen anything like that. His 2023 was
Yeah, that
pretty
was
good.
definitely his best.
But even though like he was made the All-Star team and was hitting about, if I remember correctly, he was hitting about 300 at the time. Um, Wait a minute, was that 23 or 24 made the All-Star team?
23 made the All Star team because
The
he was
Scooby-Doo thing was really 2 years ago.
yeah, he was the Craig Kimbrell.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right though.
I think a
Oh,
big, I think a big like how I look at Castellanos and because we don't know how streaky of a guy he is and just like the on and off. It's just like the 2023 postseason. He hit 5 home runs from game 3 of the NLDS to game 1 of the NLCS. That was only 3 games. So he hit 5 homers in 3 straight games. He did not have a single base hit for the next 6 games following those 3. That right there tells you what kind of a player Nick Castellanos is and what you should expect. When he's hot, it's going well, but I mean, when he's in stretches like this, which he's been in for a good portion of this season, of course, he was getting base hits, but not exactly producing how you would love it. 15 home runs, 60 RBI. Um, it's just it's not going to do it,
yeah, for sure.
especially for
Yeah, and
25
and
million
you
dollars
hit
a
the
year.
nail on the head. Like we've seen this time and time again. So at this point, are we really surprised? I don't think so. All right, well, we talked about the the negatives in the offense a little bit. I guess we should shift to the positives, which again, I mean, the Phillies have had a decent run over the last 2 weeks here, so there have been some positives in this. Um, and surprisingly, Ben, we've seen really four guys who hit in a row in the lineup, starting with Trea Turner at the back, Trea Turner at the top, and then Brendan Marsh, Max Kepler, and Bryson Stott down at the bottom. And they have been, in their defense, really, really good. Would you say so?
I definitely think Trea Turner has been outstanding. His last 7, he's hitting 379, 3 for 4 on Saturday, 2 for 5 Friday, 3 for 5 on Thursday. He's definitely embracing his return to Washington D.C. He's Tre's awesome. He was in a little bit of a slump in like July, wasn't hitting well. Average came down to like 270-ish. He's back up to 289, and the guy just gets on base. 344 on base percentage.
Oh
He gets
yeah.
those hits. 49. He's got a 419 on base over his last 7. Like he's doing what he should. He's doing what he should be doing. He's being Trea Turner, and that's not slugging the ball out of the ballpark. He's only got 12 homers. That's getting on base and scoring runs. 78 runs this season. It's just unfortunate that the guys behind him right now aren't producing. Like Kyle Schwarber's kind of fallen into a little bit of a dud. Harper as well, and Castellanos, who's been hitting up there. It's just not bringing him in. But he's getting on base and he's getting hits. He's clubbing the ball, and it shows on the stat sheet. And it has all year, other than his little bit of his little slow stretch he had for a little bit. Tre's been awesome this season. Should have been an all-star as well. He's playing elite defense.
Absolutely.
So Tre's been great, and
Yeah, I saw his outs above average is like significantly higher than any other year in his career, which is it's great to see. 'Cause, I mean, I'm sure you never know what goes on inside a player's head, but there were ramblings in the offseason about removing him from shortstop. And, that could encourage a player to step it up a little bit. And of course, we'll never know if that's the case, but even if he doesn't admit it subconsciously, it could very well be there. Because, part of his deal in Philly was that, like, it was made pretty clear from the get-go that shortstop was his spot. And I think it is promising to see that he, at least based on his uptick in his numbers defensively this year, he does seem to recognize that even though when he got here, he had that spot, he's got to earn it every year. And I think that's valuable to see. We were talking about Castellanos and people saying he's a good teammate earlier. I think that's one of the things that really shows a good teammate, someone who recognizes it despite what they've done in the past or how much money they're making or what they're predicted to do. They've got to earn their spot on the field every year, not just in the lineup. So I think that's a good guy to have on your team. And now we've seen his hitting has been real good too, at least recently. So yeah, it's really good to see from him. And
He's
I
doing it. It's
know,
right-handers, it's left-handers, it's consistent with Trey, which is what's always important.
right. Yep, you are exactly right, Ben. And I'll tell you, the one guy who we also loved to complain about, and I think I still do a little bit, but Max Kepler has kind of pulled it together. Um, I mean, his
What was that, 7?
numbers, yeah, I mean, his last 7 have been good. Um, Now, if you look at his numbers over the last, you know, 15 games, it's about where he's been for the season, a little bit better, but really not much at all. But it just, he's been able to come up with hits that are so much more timely than what he did in the beginning of the year. He had so many home runs where he really just they came at times that were I shouldn't say so many, but he had a couple home runs that came at times when it really did not do anything. But now we've seen, he had that RBI double a few days ago. He had that real big was it a 2-run home run it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago as well. He's found ways with runners on base to get those guys in. And we didn't expect him to still be on the team on August 16th, but he has found a way to keep himself in the lineup by doing well with runners in scoring position. So you have to give him some props for that. Um, and another guy who is also getting talked about a lot, Bryson Stott. Again, he's hitting 306 over his last 15 games. Um, he has been, I think I saw somewhere that he's been statistically the Phillies' best or second best hitter since the All-Star break. So again, another guy he's found a way to step up. Um, especially when the Phillies offense needs it the most with struggles. At one point it was Turner. Um, for a while now, it's been Nick Castellanos. And, we talked about this national series. You kind of get tunnel vision a little bit because, it's August 17th and this is the series that we're in. But up until whatever that was, Thursday, they were playing well consistently. And it wasn't because the entire team was playing well. It was because guys who, even though they're not, the quote unquote face of the team, they stepped up. And I think that's what good teams do. So I would say right now, I'm not worried about the Phillies offense. They are going to figure it out because of the guys that are in this lineup. And if they're able to still salvage wins when their best guys are not producing to the top of their capabilities, because we never want to talk about it, but Bryce Harper still, I don't think, seems like himself. Um, then when they've got everybody clicking, there's no stopping this offense. I really think that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it year after year when everyone's on. They're tough to beat. It's just at this very moment in Washington, nobody's really on. But I mean, yeah, you said it very well. I think my biggest thing for Max Kepler, whose real name is Maximilian.
What?
Yeah, Maximilian Kepler.
Where in the world did you see that?
I'm looking at his MLB.com. It's been the timely hits, as you said. Like we've so many times this season, Kepler's came on with runners on base, 2 out. big
Oh,
situations. It's
the
been a
more you know.
strikeout. It's been a double play. It's been a pop up. Just it's been outs, but he's getting those in play runs. He's not exactly hammering the ball out of the ballpark like he once used to in Minnesota. He's getting those doubles. He's driving in runs. He's got couple bunch of RBI. He's got 10. He's got 7 RBI in his last 15, which is very good. And just he's driving in runners. He's doing his part at that bottom of the order, and it's really filled the rest of the bottom order. You said Bryson Stott. Brandon Marsh had a little bit of a go. How about Weston Wilson? This platoon that the Phillies have going is pretty
Mm.
strong out there in the outfield, and it's good when your bottom of the order is on. And when your top dogs aren't hitting, sometimes you got to let the little dogs eat. And the little dogs at the bottom of the order were feasting up until this Washington series where everything seems to have fallen apart. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been Kepler's been good. And as a guy who was, I didn't like the Kepler signing when they did it because that should not have been their answer in the offseason, and it was. He's hitting well right now, and hopefully it will
Now,
continue.
emphasis
Yeah,
on now.
for right
Can't
now,
ignore the fact that he's
he's
barely hitting
hitting.
200 for the season.
He's hitting 208 this season with a 660 OPS. But as of this very moment, he's hitting,
Yeah.
which is fun to see for Maximilian.
So, yeah, I was just gonna say. So I went on a little bit of a tangent while you were talking. So Maximilian doesn't have a middle name because I went to Harrison Bader's page because I'd linked to the little drop down. He was the first one on there. He's Harrison Joseph Bader. But this one just says Maximilian Kepler. That's really sad for him, isn't it?
Not everyone has a middle name, so
Do you have a middle name, Ben?
I do.
Are you like one of those stingy like people who are really stingy about it?
My middle name's Ross. It's really not exciting.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
No.
William here, so.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is interesting. Nick Castellanos' page, his just says Nicholas A. Castellanos. Maybe his is like embarrassing.
Maybe. But
Now his
speaking of platoon,
nickname, what's
yes.
that?
No, go ahead. What nickname?
Artist. So maybe he's Nicholas Artist Castellanos. Doesn't want everyone to know.
That's stupid. Anyway, Harrison Bader, part of the platoon. Weston Wilson, part of that platoon that was just mentioned. I mean, we didn't like the platoon when we were doing it, and now it's working when you got Weston Wilson, who's hitting over 300 in his last 15 games, and his last 7 hitting 353. So maybe just trust Rob Thompson, because every time he does something and we don't like it, it typically ends up working. So
Yeah, it's true. He seems to have a way with that. You know, Ben, I'm still stuck on this. I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start referring to all these guys instead of like Zack Wheeler. He's gonna be Zach Harrison or Joan Duran is just gonna be Joan Manuel. I think middle names are fun. We need to value them more, just like
Weston
societally, I
Graham
think.
Wilson.
I was gonna say, yeah, so Weston Graham being platooned with Brandon Chase seems to be seems like those two are firing on all cylinders.
It's certainly working for. We know Rob Thompson's middle name. I don't think he has a
Oh,
page.
hold on, let me get on that. That's a quick Google search.
Um, yeah, definitely working. And remember, this lineup will be getting an addition of Alec
Lewis.
Bohm in the future,
Oh
in
my
the near
God, that's
future.
right. Yeah. Robert Lewis Topper Thompson.
Oh, Robert Lewis.
Robert Lewis.
Things are going well for Robert Lewis. Things aren't going well for
Oh,
the
oh,
health of Phillies pitching,
Zach
though.
Harrison.
Yeah.
hmm Didn't have to look that up either. Yeah, so Zach Wheeler has been really shaky over the last few starts. We saw him was that Thursday? Yeah, it was Friday. Friday against Washington. And he battled, um, ended up putting together a serviceable start. through 5 innings, but still was not the same Zack Wheeler that we saw for, up through really the, middle to end of July. He reported some shoulder discomfort. His start got pushed back 2 days. Wasn't really any change in his performance, and then came out yesterday afternoon, I believe it was,
Mm.
that he was put on the injured list with a blood clot in the right upper extremity, which is typically not very good. Um, I am no doctor, but doesn't take more than a Google search to realize that, any sort of arterial blood clot can travel to the lungs and cause pulmonary embolism. And that's not good. Um, so yeah, I mean, you do see it sometimes in athletes who have frequent use of a repetitive motion. You saw it in Victor Wembanyama. He was out for the season. Um, same goes, well, no, I shouldn't say same goes for, but same cause we would assume for Zack Wheeler. He's been going through that pitching motion since he was probably, you know, a kid. Um, I mean, most guys play since they're 4 or 5. You start kid pitch when you're like, I think 8 years old is when I started. So, that kind of stuff is scary to see, but unfortunately, it's the reality when you've been pitching for, almost 30 years. So, yeah, well, I mean, that's the kind of thing where we just have to see, how his symptoms develop over the next few days, and hopefully the doctors started him on some uh, anticoagulants, and he can return to the Phillies sooner than later. But again, we shall see.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When definitely, repetitive arm movements, strenuous activities could be causes. And Wheeler was one of the hardest throwing starters, and he has thrown 979 innings since 2020, which is the
Mm.
most in Major League Baseball. So it's certainly a good amount of strenuous, repetitive arm movement, if you were to ask me. Um, we've seen like this Wheeler kind of turn since his complete game one hitter against the Reds. That was on July 6th. His 6 starts since 32 and 2/3 innings, 17 earned runs, 34 hits, 8 homers. He's hit 5 batsmen and just 47 strikeouts, 4.54 ERA, a 1.25 WHIP, and Phillies win. His record in those 6 games is 1-2. When stuff like this, it's like it's bigger than baseball. It's scary for the person. It's scary for the family. So we send everything, all good mojo and prayers and wishes towards Zach. And stuff like this is scary, and it's not really. Uh, you know, of course, you want the guy back on your baseball team, but it's more about him feeling healthy first than when can he be back on the mound for the Phillies. But I mean, presumably it'll depend on how the clots respond to his treatment. Um, it's it's crazy. He reported, as you said, the shoulder has been bothering him, but blood clot is just might have been the last thing I was thinking. And
Yeah.
the Phillies have been struggling like they have. This to hear this news just makes things so much worse, and it's not a good thing for the Phillies, and it's very scary for Zach. So hope Zach gets better, and hope we can have him back soon. But for now, you gotta battle through it.
Yeah, unfortunately that's true. And yeah, you're right. It's a scary thing for everybody. So we do send all of our best to the Wheelers, and we hope for not only, as fans and podcasters, but also as people, that he has a speedy, harmless recovery, to say the
Yes.
least. Um,
Yes. But I
but yeah,
mean,
that certainly
we
was
saw it,
was crazy.
and also another big thing was his velocity dropped to mid to low 90s. Like his fastball was peaking at 94, which is just
So out of character, yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's never thrown 94 since he's been in the majors. Like he's always been a high
Right,
upper
yeah.
90s
It's
guy.
true.
And that was really the number one son. You saw him slide a little bit, not as many innings. A little bit of lost command. As I said, 5 hit batsmen in 6 starts is completely unlike Wheeler. So just it was weird. And now we know it's the blood clot, which is just it's not good.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right. So yeah, I mean, now we got Wheeler on the injured list. We've got Aaron Nola. He is making his return in just a few hours, actually. He will take the mound for the Phillies. Um,
This morning.
as yeah, yeah, it's weird to say that. I guess I don't have to just say today. I can say, or what I say in a few hours. He is taking the mound in the AM, which we don't usually see. Um, so I mean, Nola, of course, he struggled a lot bit before going to the injured list, but you can see he's got an ERA of um, over what we would like to see. Um, and I mean, before he went on the injured list, it was stuff that was just so out of character for Nola. He wasn't getting the same movement on his pitches. He was leaving breaking balls way out over the plate. And his fastball had zero bite on it at all. And the sinker he was not locating it effectively. And when it's not located effectively, it's no better than a fastball down the middle. So hopefully, this time on the injured list has kind of not only, healed the issue he had going on, but also rejuvenated him a little bit. He should be good to go for us in a couple hours here.
Yeah, good old 11:35 first pitch, and yeah, he had a very good rehab with Lehigh Valley, 12 and a
He
third,
did, yeah.
2.19 ERA, a 1.14 WHIP. He struck out 11 batters in his final start with Lehigh, which is very encouraging. Velocity looked good, the command looked good. He looked good. So number 50, Aaron Nola was wearing. So it's good to have him. Good to have him back. And you think what the corresponding move will be? I guess they put Wheeler on the IL, which will just they could maybe bring Nola just up, but there might have to be a 40-man roster move. So some in the organization could be getting DFA'd. So we'll see. We'll see where they go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, addition for the Phillies is, no, I mean, it can't get much worse than how it was. I mean, ERA over 6, homers flying out of the yard like they're like people flying out of I don't even know, but I mean, he was terrible, like straight up horrible. In April and May, you've never seen Nola like that, and had the injury, and now hopefully good
Yeah.
to go for the
Right.
latter portion of the season.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that I guess is working in Nola's advantage a little bit is the Nationals have Mitchell Parker on the mound tomorrow, which I don't have his stats pulled up in front of me, but I know he is not having a great 2025 campaign in Washington. So hopefully that gives the Phillies offense a chance to jump on some struggling pitching. And it would be wonderful if they could give Aaron Nola some run support early on because we've seen when he's not coming back from an injury and is completely healthy and pitching well, the Phillies often struggle to give him adequate run support. So now that he's trying to bounce back from his injury, if there's any time to turn that around, it would be today. So that would be nice to see.
Yes, hopefully, and hopefully the Phillies get him some runs, which they've not been doing recently. They didn't do that for Taijuan Walker yesterday, who, I mean, he has been stepping up big time for the Phillies. They even made them do a 6-man rotation for a moment, which we'll see what they do with that since they won't have Wheeler for an extended period of time. So we'll see how they handle. Maybe Andrew Painter gets up at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely now Tanner has not been good for Lehigh Valley. So
He was very, very bad. Another bad outing on Saturday. But maybe he just is not good with Lehigh Valley, and he'll be good in the majors. So maybe that'll flip the switch. But
Yeah, I hope so.
Taijuan Walker's been awesome, which I did not think we'd ever be saying that on this podcast, because if you look at, we have 84 episodes. If you look at maybe 40 of them, we're bad mouthing that. We're bad mouthing Taijuan Walker and a good amount of it.
Ooh, you think it's? I feel like it could be more than that. We were haters for a long time.
And now he watches the podcast and he says, "These stupid kids, I'm going to show them what's up." And
I hope
his
that's why.
last,
That if that were why, I think I would approve.
yeah, I mean, you look at Saturday afternoon in Washington, 6 2/3, 6 hits, just 2 runs, struck out 3. Cincinnati, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks against Baltimore on August 5th, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, no runs. Got the win there. He's been 6. These are quality starts.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and consistently, he has been really, really good. That is the fact of the matter. Again, you said you hit the nail on the head. Never thought I'd be saying it, but here we are. He's been really good, and you got to give it to him. You do.
I know you hate saying that right now.
Oh, it pained me.
We commended Max Kepler and Taijuan Walker on the same episode.
They have to retire, Ben.
They're going to talk about
We're not good anymore.
They're going to talk about episode 84 for ages.
Someone's got to mark this down in history. That is bad.
Yeah, episode 84. The day we commend those who we do not typically like. But they deserve it. And especially Taijuan, he's been great. Hopefully it continues for however long Wheeler is out of their rotation and on the injured list, because filling in for Wheeler is obviously very difficult when he was possibly going to win the Cy Young this year. I mean, Paul Skeens has been so good, but Wheeler was right there. Having a guy like Taijuan Walker there to support that with the 6 innings of quality, and with this new and improved bullpen the Phillies have, Orion Kirkring, Matt Strahm, both have been good. And I mean, Jawan Duran is just so fun. Like, the game is over when he's entering the field. David Robertson has gotten the job done in his 2 appearances so far. So it's been the pitching staff is good. I've, of course, as we said, not as good. Ranger Suarez is struggling. He's Zardo getting back into a groove a little bit, but Taijuan Walker can do what he's doing and not replace, but come in for Wheeler for now and continue his pace. The Phillies will be okay. They will be okay.
Absolutely. It is a magical thing what he's been able to manage, but like I said, you got to give it to him. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
I don't hate to say it. I like when my guys succeed. When the Phillies do well.
That's nice of you. I usually I do too. I mean, it's like it applies for like 23 out of the 26 guys. There's just 3 that exhaust me.
And they are.
And we know we've talked about all of them today. Walker, Kepler, and Castellanos. I really don't have an issue with Kepler. Kepler hasn't been here long enough for me to have an issue with him. He just doesn't do his job. He's just like the new guy who shows up at work and immediately underwhelms everybody. But Castellanos and Walker are like the seasoned employees who slowly started slacking once they got that promotion. That's how I would classify them.
All right. Upcoming for the Phillies, we'll go through. They got one more game in Washington later today. And then they come home and they have 3 against Seattle and an off day Thursday, and then 3 more right back again against Washington at home on the weekend. So Seattle been playing better. They got Eugenio Suarez at the deadline. Of course, Cal Raleigh has been awesome. 44, 45 homers this season. Just reached the century mark in RBIs, and so that'll be a fun series for the Phillies. And it's always cool when you play the team on the opposite side of the map. And so some interleague ball there. And then Washington, who Phillies are struggling. Hopefully they'll get the series win, or they'll split the series. Hopefully later today. So Colin, that's right there is 7 games in the next 7-8 days. What do you got?
You know, Ben, I think they're going to turn it around.
Oh,
They've got to. They're going 5-2. They're going to do it.
how about that?
I know. I'm surprised myself.
How about that? Yeah, I don't think they. I'll go 4-3.
Okay, I can
but
deal
it's
with that.
it's a good 4-3. Like they'll.
Oh, all right. Good 4-3.
Or actually, wait, no. Let's go 5-2.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's go 5-2.
Good plan.
Let's win this last game in Washington, and then let's lose 1 game of each series.
That's a great. I love that.
Let's go 5-2.
Yeah.
Let's go Phillies.
You're right. That's what we're here for. We got to be positive.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll go 5-2. And then after that, you got a huge series at Citi Field against the New York Mets. But we got a week to worry about that. Then it's 4 against Atlanta, and then we're into the month of September.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy, but we're here. So we got to thank SeatGeek. They're the best. SeatGeek. The easiest way to buy your tickets, just go to SeatGeek app. Download it. Link is in the description to download the SeatGeek app. They make it so easy to buy tickets. And we have a great deal for you. If you use the code Phillies Sports Report, you save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Summer's coming to an end. And a great way to spend the end of summer prior to school starting is go to a ball game, go to a concert, comedy, anything. All of it is on SeatGeek. Code Philly Sports Report, PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. Saves you $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Again, PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. Colin, what are we doing?
Hold the S. DFA the S. Outright it to Lehigh Valley. We don't need it.
Philly Sports Report on SeatGeek. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring and $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Philly Sports Report. Link is in the description of the YouTube video and on all podcast apps. And it's in the link of all social medias as well. So it's very easy to find and very easy to type. So make sure you do not miss on that opportunity.
Absolutely, Ben. You hit the nail on the head. It's a great time to be out of the ballpark.
It sure is. When the Phillies go 5-2 this week.
Oh, yeah, you know it. 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2. All right.
Let's do it.
We'll see you guys when the Phillies go 5. When the Phillies go 5-2. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and listening.
Go Phils.
This has been the Bell Ringers podcast on Philly Sports Reports, brought to you by SeatGeek. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Philly Sports Reports wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow the podcast on X and PSR on all social media. Also, consider leaving a review. Catch Colin and Benjamin's writing on phillysportsreports.com, along with following both on X. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring the show.